in the Tollcross Swimming Centre after the Games. But STV News has learned the Scottish Government isn't satisfied. Local councillors have delivered on their agreement and is withholding the funds. Peter Smith reports.
This is George, Cheryl and Laura. They were born with Down syndrome and their mums are also their carers. They became friends at a daycare centre for adults with learning disabilities. But almost 3 years ago, their centre was demolished to make way for this, a bus park for the Commonwealth Games.
We were told that they would get a brand new build, a legacy for the Commonwealth Games, and to this day there's still nothing for them.
The carers took their case to the First Minister.
There's a cause and a reason for redeeming the commitment for life centre.
During discussions with the Scottish Government and Glasgow City Council, carers were invited to view South Lanarkshire leisure centres, which have facilities for learning disabilities attached. The Scottish Government actually highlights the facilities here as an example of good practice in their policy for adults with learning disabilities, and the carers were impressed.
Anyone, I would take any of them, especially the, as I say, the Harris Smith. It was spirit, and I think our kids deserve it.
STV News has obtained a series of letters from the First Minister promising carers a similar facility could be created inside their local Tollcross Aquatic Centre as part of the Commonwealth Games legacy. The government says £150,000 was ring-fenced for the council to deliver this, in line with the learning disability policy. But Glasgow City Council says they only agreed to provide disabled access to Tollcross, which they claim they've already done, and they've been asking to be paid since last February.
All sorts of specialist equipment is in there in terms of access to the pool, access to the facilities, access to the changing rooms.
So isn't that a legal requirement?
To the extent that it's been done, it is beyond, well beyond the basic requirements of the DDA.
The policy guide, as you'll know, Councillor, recommends something to mirror the South Lanarkshire or Renfrewshire models, where within leisure centres they have sensory rooms, music rooms, dance rooms, this kind of thing, for adults with learning disabilities. Is this in place in Tollcross?
I honestly don't know the answer to that question. I don't.
You're the executive member.
You're asking, can we stop there for a second?
The Scottish Government refused our request for an interview, but they've asked for a meeting between the council and carers and say they will not release the £150,000 legacy fund until the views of the carers have been taken into account.
But they've been listening to the views of the carers for the last few years, but they're doing nothing about it. So they're ignoring the views of the carers because we've been saying what we want. It's a new centre.
Will that be in place after the Commonwealth Games?
I would have to get back to you on that one.
While the government and council disputes £150,000, people like George, Cheryl and Laura await their legacy from a multi-million-pound Commonwealth Games hosted on their doorstep. Peter Smith, STV News.
The number of bike thefts in Glasgow has risen by a